Delusional Giudice smacked with truth, not a housewife. Delusional RHONJ daughter, Giudice has been smacked with the truth as fans alert her that she's not a housewife. The 23-year-old has popped up in several episodes of the hit Bravo reality series. Yet she has not left the best impression on viewers in the last few seasons. So what else are fans saying about Teresa Giudice's mini-me? Keep reading for more details. Delusional Giudice lacked with truth, not a housewife. Giudice was an adorable and sweet little girl when RHONJ first began. She even put her mother, Teresa Giudice, in her place several times, which viewers appreciated. Then Teresa met and fell in love with Luis Ruiz, and everything changed. Gia developed a very sharp tongue and did not think before she spoke. She was unkind to her uncle and aunt, Joe and Melissa Gorga, plus she talked poorly about her mother's co-stars. It appeared she was always on her mother's side, no matter what she said or did, which was hard for viewers. They did not understand why Gia had to be around all of the time, acting like she was a housewife when she very clearly was not. Plus, Gia always defended her mother's marriage to Luis, praising her stepfather even if he was indefensible. Recently, Gia was on Teresa's Turning the Tables podcast. According to Monsters and Critics, she chatted about how some think she is too into her mother's life and problems. She also noted that if the cast has issues with her jumping to Teresa's defense, she has the solution. They can invite their children to the series to do the same for their parents. Apparently, viewers did not care for what Giudice had to say because they went off in the comments. Absolutely nobody is jealous or insecure. She really shouldn't be on the show. She's not a housewife, and she's the only child who has inserted herself or brought in. The Delusions. This is absolutely Teresa's child. Kia is as delusional as her toxic mother. No one on the show is jealous of Teresa having Gia have her back. The cast and the viewers just don't like Gia or want her involved in the drama. No more show. At this point, all of this does not really matter when the future of RHONJ is up in the air. Season 14 did not have a traditional reunion because of the way the cast struggled to interact. So Bravo and Andy Cohen knew they had some big decisions to make for season 15, and that may or may not include Teresa and Giudice. When the last season ended, Teresa's husband, Luis Ruiz, made a very cruel comment regarding Margaret Joseph's son. As soon as Teresa got a chance to see it on film, she never said he was wrong. Rather, she defended him while viewers were up in arms. Giudice had spent years cultivating an image of poise, prestige, and an undeniable legacy tied to the infamous Giudice name. She was the daughter of a real housewife after all. In her mind, she was a legacy. No, she was royalty. The Bravo universe had witnessed her childhood tantrums, teenage defiance, and college glow-up, all while she navigated the murky waters of being Teresa Giudice's eldest daughter. But in recent months, her confidence had evolved into something else entirely: delusion. Gia truly believed she was a housewife. It started subtly: little remarks in interviews, comments on podcasts, the way she'd saunter into Envy, Melissa Gorga's boutique, as if she was stepping onto the reunion stage, ready to verbally eviscerate anyone who dared challenge her mother. She acted as if Andy Cohen had personally sent her a diamond and a tagline to rehearse in the mirror. "I've been in this game since I was 9. She'd say to anyone who questioned her place in the Real Housewives of New Jersey universe. "I was practically raised on Bravo. If anyone deserves a seat at the table, it's me." But Bravo wasn't buying it. And neither was the public. The delusions hit a fever pitch when Gia, with all the confidence of a seasoned reality star, decided to openly feud with Uncle Joe Gorga. To be fair, the tension between the Giudices and the Gorgas had been a Bravo staple for years. It was a story as old as RHONJ itself: family betrayal, loyalty, and screaming matches over pasta dishes. But where Gia faltered was in believing she was an equal player in the feud. She thought she was Teresa, that she had a housewife-level fan base, that people were tuning in for her. They weren't. She took to Instagram Live, dramatic in her delivery, warning Melissa and Joe that they were disrespecting the family and ruining legacies. She delivered lines that might have worked had they been said by a full-time housewife, but instead, they landed with the cringe of a freshman theater major who hadn't quite found their stage presence. Then came the ultimate blow. Giudice, in all her delusions, reportedly demanded a spot on RHONJ's next season as an official friend of. Bravo executives, who had seen every type of drama imaginable, were baffled. Sure, the network loved family dynamics, but this was uncharted territory. A former housewife's daughter positioning herself as a main cast member. They entertained the idea for a moment, wondering if the fandom would rally behind Gia stepping into the franchise on her own merit. But then reality set in. Gia had never carried a scene without her mother. She had never had a storyline that wasn't directly tied to Teresa's mess. She was a side character in a family saga, not a central figure in the drama. And when the executives considered the backlash that would come from inserting Gia into the mix, the decision was made. No diamond for Giudice. When the news hit, Gia was stunned. "But I've been in the Bravo family forever," she protested, calling her lawyer, who was probably still trying to clean up whatever legal mess her father had left behind in the U.S. "I have fans. People love me." The silence on the other end of the line said it all. And just when she thought it couldn't get worse, Andy Cohen, the Bravo god himself, took to his radio show to deliver the final blow. Gia is great, but she's not a housewife. She's never been a housewife. And frankly, she's not getting a housewife edit. The words echoed in her mind. Not a housewife. It wasn't just about the show. It was about validation, status, the continuation of her family's legacy. Gia had convinced herself that she was destined to carry the torch once Teresa stepped away, which, let's be real, wasn't happening anytime soon. But the truth had smacked her across the face harder than a Jersey girl with acrylic nails in a nightclub brawl. She was reality TV adjacent. She was housewife adjacent. But she was not a housewife. The public reaction was swift and, well, brutal. Twitter erupted with memes of Gia's infamous childhood crying face, captions reading, "Waking up and realizing you're not a housewife." Fans of the show called her out for inserting herself into adult drama for years and now expecting to be rewarded for it. Even other housewife kids, some of whom had been on TV just as long as her, rolled their eyes. Brielle Bierman, ever the shade queen, tweeted, "LNAO girl, join the club." We've all been there. Teresa tried to defend her daughter, insisting on Watch What Happens Live, that Gia is more mature than half these women anyway. But the audience wasn't buying it. Maturity wasn't the issue. It was relevance. And Gia just didn't have it. Eventually, the reality of the situation set in. She dialed back the dramatic Instagram posts, stopped giving sound bites that screamed pick-me energy, and refocused on her law career. Because, let's face it, she was going to need a real job if Bravo wasn't handing her a contract. But the delusions still lingered. Somewhere deep down, Gia still believed that her housewife moment was coming. That one day, Bravo would recognize the Giudice legacy and welcome her with open arms. That Andy Cohen would give her a diamond, a reunion seat, and a tagline that would live in Housewives history. But for now, all she had was a heavy dose of reality.